there's a lot of boxers who I get a particular amount of messages about and a particular amount of excitement when they fight. And one of those particular boxers who I wanted to talk about in this particular video is Vijender Singh. Now, if you're watching this video as a UK boxing fan, I think it's fair to say Vijender is the kind of guy who you may have heard of, but largely has flown under the radar to an extent from a UK perspective. Clearly, this guy is an absolute superstar in India. I get a lot of people from India who have tuned into my channel to check out any sort of talk about Vijender Singh in the past. I believe I'm right in saying that my post-fight video covering Vijender's last fight against Francis Checker was actually the second highest viewed video that I've ever done since I started this channel. So huge shout out to everyone in India who tunes in. But I wanted to cover a fight that was made today, Vijender Singh versus Jahmaine Smyle, because I know a lot of the people who tune into my channel will be interested in it. And I also think it's important for fans in India who are fans of Vijender Singh to understand not only the context of how he's performing in British boxing, but also to understand the context of the opponent he's in with. So first things first, Vijender Singh takes on Jahmaine Smyle. Smile's record is 14 wins, 4 losses and 2 draws. Of his 14 wins, only 6 have come by knockout, so perhaps not the biggest puncher. And of his 4 losses, he's been stopped twice. He's 30 years old, 5'11½". Now the bill itself, which was announced today in Frank Warren's press conference, is at the Leicester Arena in Leicester. The bill is going to be headlined by Tommy Langford versus Craig Cunningham, which is a fight for the British title, and Tyrone Nurse versus Joe Hughes, which is also a British title level fight. On the undercard so far, you have Vijender Singh versus Jahmaine Smyle and Leon Woodstock. Now, that is one key difference about Vijender Singh fighting in the UK compared to Vijender Singh fighting in India. Because I know if Vijender Singh fights out in India, it's a huge event. He headlines the event. The event is a sellout at the box office. It generates huge public interest. I just think it's fair to point out to Indian fans tuning in the context of this event. This is what I would class as a medium-sized show. The bill is being headlined by British title level fights. Now, a British title level fight is something that's very, very highly regarded in Great Britain. But at the same time, it is some way below a European title fight. Quite a way below a world title fight. And the fact that Vijender is playing second fiddle on the undercard to British title level fights kind of shows to you how different his name is over here at this stage compared to what it's like over in India. Because I appreciate the hype surrounding Vijender in India. If he were fighting over there now, it would probably generate as much interest as the vast majority of world title fights. Now the opponent, Jahmaine Smyle, he's a guy who I've known about for a little while. I believe I saw him in Prize Fighter, which for you guys who don't know is a 3-round boxing tournament that we used to have over here. He lost twice to Tobias Webb. And Tobias Webb's a sort of middling level super middleweight. He was stopped early by Hosea Burton. He dropped a draw to Cello Renda. But recently, I don't know if he's matured or what it is, but maybe he's changed a few things. Recently, his form's picked up a bit. He won on a split decision against Lee Markham for, at the time, what was the vacant English super middleweight title, and he defended that title successfully, winning again in a split decision against Leon Mackenzie, the former footballer, for the English super middleweight title. So as it currently stands, Jahmaine Smyle is the English super middleweight champion. To give you some clue as to where he sort of stands in the rating, Jahmaine Smyle is rated the 19th best super middleweight in England by BoxRec. Sorry, in the UK by BoxRec. So if you look at like the names in the super middleweight division that BoxRec have listed at the top, you've got guys clearly like George Groves, James DeGale, Callum Smith. You've got Eubank Jr., Martin Murray, Rocky Fielding, Paul Smith, Jamie Cox. You know, these guys are a long way at this stage above Jahmaine Smyle. And if you actually look at some of the other guys in the ratings, you know, there are a real number of fighters. If I'm really frank, there's actually fighters I haven't even heard of who are rated in the BoxRec rankings above Jahmaine Smyle. So, you know, having seen him fight little bits, what I would say is this guy is not the most technical of fighters. He's actually a fairly good fighter to watch. He's come forward, he is not afraid of a war, he's clearly got a big heart, he's not afraid of a scrap in any sense. He is not the most technical of fighters. Vijender Singh's amateur pedigree clearly puts him a league above Smyle in terms of pedigree in boxing. And I would expect Vijender Singh to establish a definite advantage in this fight, boxing and moving behind the jab. Jahmaine Smyle is going to try and put it on him. He's going to try and bring the pressure, bring the heat, come forward, get in close. And for me, that's maybe where the fight could be of interest at some point, because Vijender Singh's look less comfortable for me when someone's forced the pace on him. For me, he's a fighter who, like many accomplished amateurs, likes room to manoeuvre. He's best when he can box behind the jab. He's best when he's got space and distance to operate in, and when he can control that distance. And if Smyle is able to rush him, if Smyle's able to take that distance away from him, then it becomes a more intriguing matchup. But in all honesty, I'm expecting Smyle to suffer another defeat here to Vijender Singh. Smyle is a fair fighter. You know, he's a fair operator. And as I say, his recent form with wins over Lee Markham and Leon McKenzie, you know, that's not bad reading. But let's have it right. You know, the guy was stopped badly by Hosea Burton. He's lost twice, admittedly earlier on in his career, to Tobias Webb. Boxing's about levels, and Smyle's level, an English champion, for me, he's not really the kind of guy I'm thinking could go on to be a British level champion. I kind of view him as more of that English title level as opposed to British title level. For me, you'd have to say Vijender Singh, with all his amateur background, with all his boxing pedigree, should be a level above Smyle at this stage. And I expect Vijender Singh to win this fight with a fair bit in hand. I'd be disappointed if Singh didn't stop Smyle. I'd be disappointed if Smyle gave Singh too many problems. I'd expect Vijender to box crisply, smartly, cleanly, and to prove a real different level to Jahmaine Smyle in terms of boxing pedigree and that side of things. I'd be disappointed if Smyle is allowed to get inside and is allowed to rough Vijender Singh up. I think the key for Vijender Singh here is controlling the reins, staying out of trouble, keeping his head screwed on, and boxing. But I wanted to make this video because, you know, a lot of the messages that I get from the Indian fans who support Vijender Singh are, you know, would Vijender win a world title? You know, will Vijender fight a George Groves or a James DeGale? You know, and I just think it's worth putting this fight into context. I appreciate Vijender Singh is a massive star over in India, but here he's fighting on the undercard of a British title bid in Leicester, and Leicester's not a big, you know, it's not one of the famous boxing cities in my understanding. And you know, the opponent, it's a respectable opponent. It could have been a worse opponent, but you know, let's have it right. This isn't a guy who should be causing Vijender Singh trouble. This is the 19th best super middleweight in Great Britain according to BoxRec. So you know, a win over Jahmaine Smyle for me is still some way below British title level, let alone Euro level or world level. interesting to see how they're manoeuvring Vijender Singh though. Clearly he's a massive name. His profile's getting bigger, and you know there's big plans afoot for his future. So always fascinating to see how these things are handled. I'm going to cover the fight live on my channel when the fight is actually taking place. I may even see if I can commentate live on it. Certainly I'll put up a post-fight video. So if you're watching in India, please take the time to hit the subscribe button so you can check out my other stuff. If you're a regular fan in the channel of the channel, and you know you tune in from time to time, please do share this video on your social media, Facebook, Twitter, etc. So you can help me spread the channel to a wider audience. And as always, I'd appreciate it if you take the time to hit that thumbs up button. Many thanks for watching, guys. Looking forward to this one.